Okay, folks, we have a new guest today, Bill Chapman of TrendReaction. Run ahead of the pack. Well, Bill, you're going to be in the pack today because we got a bunch of ruthless traders out here that only like to hear great information. So I've posted your first chart about the big yawn, or why you don't trade in advance of the Fed. So do you want to explain to the folks who you are and what you offer, and show us what you're looking at today? And then if they have an interest, you can tell them how they can reach you. So tell us a little bit about Bill Chapman.
Well, Larry, I bring to the table 35 years of professional trading management experience. And I've worked on the various floors from Fidelity Investments, the Boston Company. I've worked at Lehman Brothers, the high net worth desk at Merrill Lynch, amongst others. One of the things I did back in the 90s was myself and a handful of traders, along with a number of computer programmers, we built at that time the world's fourth largest online trading platform, which was eventually acquired by E-Trade. Now, my focus over the past few years, Larry, has been the influence of program trading, because program trading, as you know, comprises 80% of the volume on any given day, even greater than 80% of the volume on any given day during the week. So I've got this unique approach of analyzing markets where I'm not so concerned with price, but I'm more interested with program execution and its influence on the markets. And believe me, Larry, it's a pleasure to be on your show.
Well, so far you're doing a pretty good job. Keep it up.
Well, geez. What I should do, and you've got the display there for the why I don't trade.
Yes, I have the September 18th chart up, and then I also have the chart for your program of what you're looking at for the for what the market to do as a pattern for today. So you just explain to us what you're looking at, and then if we have people call in, they'll ask questions, or they'll email you with your email address. So just go ahead, because this is new to me. You're going to have to start from scratch, my friend. So please take your time.
So I have the big yawn up there, which is, normally, you never trade in advance of a Fed announcement, basically because the market simply moves sideways, waiting on the news. But the dynamic there is such that the houses, the hedge funds, they're positioning themselves throughout the day to take advantage of the announcement. So they're either getting net long, net short, depending upon the announcement and the way they want to pull the market.
Okay.
When you're looking at the markets in place and how they play out, I put up the big yawn today because that's a pattern that more than likely from my sniffer programs, that's what they were sniffing out. It appears it's going to be one of these days where it goes sideways and then you may get a downdraft only to have the market rebound right back and end up where it started.
That's what you're showing on your 12-11 pattern, the pattern for today. In other words, to be down and then up again.
Right.
Okay.
So you can see the way I've broken down the AM call is that initially I usually started out with my commentary. And my commentary is such that it could be anything. And I like to keep it market related. I will do economics, Fed watch, see which way the money's flowing, political, fashion, lifestyles, media, technical analysis tips, and trading tips and techniques. Along with that, I put up what my sniffer program brings out as the profile. Now the profile, the lower part under the commentary, it's a roadmap for the day's trading activity. Much like the weatherman uses a weather map, I'm using a chart to give you an idea of what the market should do for the day. Now you've seen my past reports and you know how close I come.
That's why you're on the show today. I've seen some pretty startling ones, so keep going.
Right. So what I have here is essentially like a roadmap. You look at a roadmap, it's telling you where the twists and curves are, but it's not telling you exactly where the potholes are, where the traffic congestion is, where the construction projects are on them. That's something that you have to find as you go along on your trip. But what we have is a graphic representation of what the day should look like. It's not perfect. And sometimes it needs to be looked at upside down or even backwards. We just come out with a basic profile here. And below the profile is a line I use, which is basically a flight plan. It has the date, the color green. Anyone who's familiar with my vocabulary, which gives an overall appearance to today's market. It'll have day 3 either greater or less than the moving average, which is your stochastic, your overbought and oversold indicator. The full moon's an interesting one because full moons, new moons, and quarter moons, as you know, have a direct influence on the market in terms of volatility. And we are one day out of a full moon. The Gemini is a profile. I use astrological profiles depending upon what phase the moon is in. And the Gemini is a two-sided market, a two-faced market. So you may find yourself all of a sudden going down in the morning and then rebounding right back up in the afternoon. And quite naturally, the tides. The tides, unbeknownst to a lot of people, is the oldest technical indicator going. And that was used even back during, when they initially started trading under the buttonwood tree. You had to know when the tides were, because in lower Manhattan, down on Water and Wall, well, if the tides were up, your shoes were getting wet. It would flood down there at the time. They made lower Manhattan at the time look like Amsterdam. They put a bunch of canals in, and those canals at the high tide, and especially a moon tide, would flood lower Manhattan. Below that, I have execution levels. That's the program trading levels, the arbitrageurs, the premium levels. They're the thresholds where the arbitrageurs execute their trades and virtually take control of the market.
So you're looking at all those different indices. And how often do you post this each day? Just in the morning, or do you update it? Or
I post this during the day. And then when I see, if something really catches my attention, I'll blast out an email to all my clients and tell them what's going on in the marketplace. Below the execution levels, I have the economic calendar. And that's to keep you from getting blindsided.
Hey, Bill, we have to pay a few bills. Stay with us for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then you have another couple of minutes to tell the folks how they can reach you and maybe let them kick the tires. So we have Bill Chapman on, Trend Reaction. We'll be right back, folks. 877-927-6648. Okay, we're back, folks. We're talking with Bill Chapman of Trend Reaction. Bill, we've only got about 2 minutes left to the end of the show, so could you tell the folks what your service entails and how they could get to you if they'd like to kick the tires?
I just want to bring up one important point, and that's the pay attention times that I have on the chart.
Okay.
The pay attention times are indicators. They're not pivot times, but they're times within 5 minutes that you need to be sitting down and watching the market. If you could bring up the chart from December 5th, you get a very good picture of exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But what my service entails is a daily newsletter, which is a roadmap to the day's trading activity, delivered to your inbox in PDF format 1 hour before the market opens. I always tell my clients to print it out because much like the old S&P tear sheets, this is something you want to have in your hand and have easy access to throughout the trading day because you're going to want to glance at it. It's got the support and resistance levels. It's got the pay attention times. It's got the profile of what the market should look like during the day. And it really, truly gives you a heads up to what to expect. You have the AM call in your hand.
We need that email address, my friend, because we've only got a few seconds left.
That email address is TrendReaction.com.
That's easy enough. Listen, we are going to have you on again probably right after the first of the year, so I want to wish you a happy holiday.
Thank you
for being our guest, Bill, and we will have you on again right after the first of the year. I can give you my promise because I've already had several questions and stuff that we'll answer when we have you back on again, okay?
Great. That's
Thanks for being on.
TrendReaction.com, and
got it.
Look forward to talking to you in the future. Happiest of holidays to you, Larry.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on board.
TrendReaction.com. We'll be right back, folks.